Hello and welcome to the last section, Module D with Spreadsheets. This is an overview of what we'll be covering in Module D. We'll be looking at charts and pies, spark lines, relatively new, Excel shortcuts, universal design, workbook review, fixing errors, the fish for functions, searching, templates, and sharing spreadsheets. So when you select charts, you select the data that you would like to have presented in a chart. And a chart is a pictorial representation of the data. And sometimes when you have a lot of data with a lot of numbers, it's hard to see what store or what location had the highest amount in what month, which one had the lowest, because you're looking at all these numbers. But if you put it into a chart, it's easier to see the highest bar, that's the location, the store, the month, who had the smallest. So it's easier to see which one stood out the most or which one needs some work on. So pictorial representation is a clearer and easier way to read the data. So you need to plan first what type of chart would work for the information, the data that you have, whether it be a line, a column, or a pie, which are the three most popular types of chart, and also the three-dimensional. It could be also in a clustered column. This also has three-dimensional. And then if you want, you can change your formatting. Let's say it's store locations per year for the year, so each month. Well, do you want it to highlight the stores, or do you want to highlight it by months? And you can change it by a click of a button. Spark Lines is relatively new, and it tells the story by line. So, for example, you have the merchandise, and it had, for the 3 years, went up from 200 units to 225 to 250. So if you look at the trend line, you see that it continues to go up every year. If you're looking at pens, there was a drop, and then it went back up. So you can see that rather than looking at the numbers through the pictorial storyline in a spark line. And the markers, it was at 75, went up, and then went back right down. And the same thing with paper, continue to go on the to continue to increase. So it's a nice way to look at it rather than just at the numbers. Excel shortcuts, there is a handout available that shows all the available shortcuts for Excel, which makes clicking or using some type of quick way to change, like the copy and paste. Everyone knows copy C, copy P, and then there's ones that you're going to use more often, and it makes your life a lot easier. You start to memorize them. Universal design, if you have any objects or shapes in your work spreadsheet, you want to use your accessibility to check first to make sure that everything is clear and easy and there are no areas that are hard for anyone to interpret. And if you have a shape, you should have go to the alt text and type what is the shape. It's an arrow, a blue arrow pointing to the right, or you just want to have some type of description rather than a screen reader reading it and there's no description. So accessibility, you should have your text, your shapes with a description in it. Workbook review, remember, give your workbook itself a strong name, and then if you're using multiple sheets within the workbook, start to name them. And you can also change the tab color so they stand out, each worksheet. If there's an error, you'll see two things, a little green rectangle in it, and when you click it, you'll get this yellow triangle with an exclamation point in it, and then it tells you what type of error that may be in this particular cell. And what happened was it was supposed to be B2 units times the price, and this should have been B3, but it's also repeating B2. So it picked up on that right away. It's knowing that you didn't use relative cell reference. So it should be C2, C3, C4. It should have been B2, B3. So it's picking up on the error to help you out. So that's a great feature. Next, again, if you're not sure about a function, how to use it, how to calculate, use your F1 or just Google it. There is the share option in Google Sheets, and in Microsoft Office as well. So it's a great, especially if you're working collaboratively with others, you can use the share feature. Templates. So if there's a particular income statement or pivot table or something, and they have them all labeled here, what kind of tables are available, loan calculator, if you're going to take out a school loan or a car loan, it'll calculate by you putting in the principal, the price of it, what the interest rate is, and how many years you're going to pay for it. It'll calculate exactly what you'll owe for each month. So it's a pretty interesting, these templates. Why work on a formula that's already there for you, so you can go through and look at all the templates that are there. Of course, you can always make minor adjustments to fit your needs, but might as well start with something that already exists. So those are in templates. Thank you.